We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Psi-Lords Issue 1. This is from the 2019 series from Valiant Comics, written by Fred Van Lente, art by Renato Guedes, maybe? Letterer Dave Sharpe, assistant editor Drew Baumgardner, editor was David Menschel, senior editorial director Robert Meyers. I have cover A, which appears to be by Reis. There are other covers by Jonboy Meyers, Alan Quah with Komikaki Studios, featuring Sean Lee, Paulina Gancheau, and Rudy. Alright, so we start out in space prison, where we have different characters locked up in cells, and they hear a mystery voice telling them that they're gods, and they all have to break out. This voice is from somebody named Sion, and he wants them to save him, which, yeah, that doesn't go quite as planned. And that's really kind of the summary of the whole issue. I know that sounds really short, but there's not a lot here. We're given a very basic introduction to the characters. We have Tank, who's kind of this chubby dude with glasses. We've got Beacon, who is your idealistic, perfect black woman. Everybody loves her. Masters her powers right away. She's a total Mary Sue. And then we've got Artisan, who's an Asian guy. And we've got Hazard, who's the ambiguous ethnicity woman. It is reflective of the current trend of having the Burger King Kids Club, where you have people from different ethnicities for no apparent reason, and a body positive person, etc. It's just very, very generic. The issue was kind of boring. They're all quickly learning how to use their powers, and the perfect lady does it first, of course, and she's just, oh, so amazing. Everybody likes her. Some of the dialogue was trash. If this didn't say Psi-Lords on it and it didn't say Valiant, this could have been a giveaway from Radio Shack from 1986. The characters are incredibly generic. Their powers are in no way explained or really defined. They're almost like Green Lantern constructs, from what I can tell. I don't know what the point of it is. They're just kind of generic superheroes. I'm not really going to recommend this book unless you can find it for $2 or less. I thought the characters were incredibly forgettable. They're, of course, mixed ethnicity. There's a cheap shot at Americans in here. A little bit of social justice stuff, but overall it was just kind of boring. It wasn't bad enough to say it was awful, but it wasn't that good either. And the fact that their powers aren't really defined and they're so generic, and they all have kind of like color themed Power Rangers type look. The costumes weren't exciting. It was just boring. The art's really good though for its style. It's kind of this almost chalk line work that really was pretty good. I didn't like it at first, but by the end of the issue I really grew to like it. But the dialogue really needs work, and they need to have a little bit better plotting. Some of the panels were so big that they could have been knocked down into about a third the size that they were, and used that room for explanations as to what their powers were. Instead, it was just sort of, well, we're masters of our powers all of a sudden. I don't know, it didn't do it for me. It was just so generic. I have no concept of what's happening here and why I should care. There's no real threat. Everything was just sort of moving them along like a really bad role-playing game module. There's no soul to it. There's no real like passion here for the writing. So I think that the writer just kind of threw something together and pushed it out and didn't really care about it. That's really how it seemed to me. So I'm not going to recommend this. I thought it was at best a mediocre book, and it's definitely not worth the cover price. So if you can find it cheap, pick it up then, but otherwise it's just sort of an average, forgettable comic book with generic superheroes you've never heard of. If you're into that, then it's right up your alley. Otherwise, pretty tame, and they played it way too safe. There's nothing memorable or unique about this that's going to make you want to hunt it out. I'm not going to recommend it for that reason, but that's just my take. As always, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you want to help the channel in other ways, links to my Streamlabs, Patreon, and Subscribestar are in the description and on the About page. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.